Yo, this is Speech, and I'm gonna be hanging out at the Hang. Lost magazine, what's going on? Hey, lost magazine, what's going on? Hey, lost magazine, what's going on? Yeah. Arrested Development has broken up. It wasn't something that we just we stared at each other and said, yo, I'm breaking up, you know. It was more so something that slowly happened over a period of time, and people went their own different directions. And so it was definitely a more natural thing, and no one left like on a bitter note, you know, like I hate you or something. It was more so just a time to move on. I think the state of rap right now is very sad because you have a lot of artists that are like flavors of the month, and there's not a lot of like longevity in the hip hop field. And I think it's partly it's a lot of the fault of even the entertainers, the people that's doing the music. And you know, we don't really try to support each other in the whole field, and there's this whole competition vibe. And it's like this definition of what is hip-hop and what is real hip-hop and what is this, what is that. And what's being lost in the shuffle is just doing stuff from your soul. It was something, CD-ROMs and the whole computer imaging and things of that nature was something that has struck me before, but I don't know a lot about it. So it's like, Prince was like one of the first artists that I was sort of checking out what he was doing with it and seeing where it can go and what it's all about. But it's definitely it interests me a lot. And more than that even, it interests the type of people that I think I can reach with it, because I think it's people that are thinking people, and I like to make music that's for people that are thinking listeners. Well, there's this one song on my album that talks about the whole respect of artists, and it's called Impregnated Tidbits of Dope Hits. And basically it's like I just run down, you know, Gumbo Brother, Phony and Strict get much respect. Jungle Brothers, Tropical Quest and Gangstar get much respect. De La Soul, Jay with the Damage and Beastie Boys get much respect. Public Enemy, Roots, Joni Mitchell and Prince get much respect. Sly and the Family Stone, James Brown, George Clinton get much respect. And it just goes down, just talking about kids that get much respect to me. And these are the kids that to me have like taken music and taken it to an art form and just like spread their vibes to their art form. And I think that you have to give respect though to people that's influenced you, because that's how you keep this whole like music thing really happening. That's a different question. Let me think. What gets me mad? Wow. Well, some of the things that really get me upset is when people intentionally place negative vibes into a space or situation. That makes me upset. Because I try so hard not to, I strive not to put negative vibes into a scenario. And if someone comes in and they got like a bad attitude or just putting in negative spirits into a scenario, it makes me upset. Well, this solo album wasn't necessarily a plan of mine. I more so like just started making music by myself. It started off on the tour bus making just diddling around with some vibes and stuff. And then I got home, and I have a studio at home for the first time in my life. So I started messing around with music on that system. And then all of a sudden, you know, it happened to be a whole album that I'd done by myself. And I'd done like overlapping vocals and all of this stuff. And all these instruments that I was messing with. And then it wasn't until just recently that I realized it's a solo record. Well, the difference between this record and Arrested Development's record is mainly the intimacy. This record is a lot more introspective. I'm talking a lot more about my personal life and the things that are going on. It's not as sort of worldly. It's more neighborhoodly. You know, talks about like what's really going on right in my own vibe. I originally wanted to do, like Marvin Gaye said, the song just to tribute Marvin Gaye, and then as I was thinking, what song do I want to do of Marvin's? What's Going On was the song that I wanted to tribute, because that is a question that I'm still asking in these days and times and what's going on in the world today. I'm asking that same type of question, and I wanted to sort of prompt people to ask that same question through the music. not only that, I'm not a good singer like Marvin, so I can't really do the notes like Marvin, so I decided not to do his song exactly, but to give my own vibe to it. The music scene in Atlanta is thriving in a big way because you have a lot of eclectic black artists that are playing this really unorthodox music that people aren't used to hearing black people play. And that's a beautiful scene down here, and I really like it. And I'm trying hard to expose that whole music scene. I mean, there's groups like Joy, Fishbone. Obviously, it's the same scene that Arrested Development spawned from. But Atlanta now is actually like honing in on this talent. Well, I have two different studios. One is So and So's recordings, which is where you all filmed me today when we was doing just like the album, just off the cuff type vibe. Then I own a house studio, and that's where I recorded this record. I recorded it at my home, and then, I mean, it's unorthodox recording. You know, it's like totally no engineer there, and I'm just like plugging in wires. And it has a very raw sound to this album because I'm not like the best engineer. It just has a very honest feel to it. And there was times like there's songs in the album where I would like wake up and get inspiration and come straight into my home studio and just record.